Good morning, everybody. This is Cristina Romera from Loyra. First of all, I'd like to say a big thank you to the organization of MIGS. I am very sorry I cannot be there with you today, and they offered me the possibility of videotaping my little presentation here, and I'm really grateful that they did, because it will be a way, and I'll try my best to give you some color on the main developments, especially in the regulation of online gaming in emerging markets. I have the honor of covering what we call LATAM or Latin America. There's one thing that I would like to say first is that Latin America obviously is contemplated as a region in itself, being across the ocean there. As the Chinese curse used to say, may you live in interesting times, and it is an interesting time over there. Mexico's gaming law dates back to 1947, so I mean everybody in the public and my colleagues and panelists will be able to imagine how outdated that law is right now in these very interesting times, as I said. So the Mexican government has trying to streamline the regulation of the whole gaming market for many years now. There have been many attempts to pass a new law through Parliament. 3 of them got really serious but never passed. But apparently this one is going to be out there in a few weeks and would be approved as trying to streamline the regulation of the whole gaming market for many years now. There have been many attempts to pass a new law through Parliament. 3 of them got really serious but never passed. But apparently this one is going to be out there in a few weeks and would be approved maybe by in the spring, more or less. There is 3 weeks until the end of the parliamentary procedures in Mexico for 2014, so probably what we will witness in the coming weeks is that the official draft of the law at least is out there. What I'd like to speak about, I mean, as I said, Latin America is a very rich region and very diverse in terms of culture, but reality is that Latin America, there is a lot of gambling culture out there, and it has been there for many, many years. Basically and regrettably, one of the common traits is that there is a huge illegal market out there, especially what regards machines and also now on the online space. There is a general lack of regulation of online despite the efforts of a few countries, and Mexico is now one of them, that trying to get their hands on that product vertical and to integrate it in as much as we can with an existing land-based operations that are very widespread across the country. Now to the new law. Basically, what is very interesting, first of all, is the way that from a regulatory perspective it's going to be working in a few months in Mexico. As regards online gaming, what do operators have to expect? Well, the concept of operator or license holder or permisionario, as the Mexican calls it, is going to be very wide, although I don't think and I don't expect that it will capture pure B2B operations, although B2B suppliers should be aware as usual on how they structure revenue shares and those sorts of how much control they would have over a platform and over player registration in order not to fall in the definition of the operator and hence would need a Mexican license. In terms of what we need in corporate perspective, director perspective and shareholder perspective, usual standards of good standing. So nothing surprising there. There will be studies on operations, on solvency. What is new in Mexico and that has not existed to date is that the new law is bringing in requirements of certification and homologation of equipment, of software and of the whole platform of the operators. There will be a general operational plan that will also be subject to review by the regulators, and basically the requirements are in no way surprising to the operators from Europe and across the board that will be used to them anyway. Now what is more important is that, as I said, the future
noise
licensee
around
will
that.
have to be domiciled, what we call in terms
Again,
of
player
both
verification,
corporate and
privacy, data control. The websites will need to allow real-time monitoring from the new supervisory body. Taxes will be paid in Mexico, and that is another very big discussion, because in Mexico you will have taxes from the central state, and you would also have at local municipal level some sort of taxation that needs to be streamlined yet, because it's part of a bigger tax reform. As I said, Mexico is a big animal, very different in itself. What I would recommend is to get a good local advisors. It's a complicated market, but that's really the beauty of it. And you know, I cannot do the Q&A today, but obviously I'm more open. There will be ring fencing requirements, so .com.mx sites only. The rest will be blocked. The law specifically provides for IP blocking mechanism and also payment blocking mechanism. Mexico is a very low bankerized country, so in terms of acceptance of e-wallets and other payment processors, there's still big question mark on the table on how those will be integrated and accepted in the platforms. Gaming needs to take place in Mexican pesos and only within the territory of Mexico. There will be just one single player account. Transfers between accounts will be fully prohibited. There is no view at what could happen with international liquidity, although in the case of Mexico it will be surely interesting